games.
The end is coming! Who am I?
Let me change your mind.
You require my assistance? A deal! We're gonna be rich.
Hello and welcome everybody to Tavern Talk. First things first, I'll address the elephant in the room. Yes, you can't see me. I'm sorry. Tonight, I'm flying out tomorrow, going on vacation, and my room's all a mess. I'm packing and all that stuff, so didn't want everybody to have to see all that. So no cam for me tonight, but we are joined tonight by TerdHerder on my right. You can't even see me pointing, so it doesn't matter which way I'm pointing this time. And then Dano right below me, who I can't hear. Still muted,
Hello?
I think.
No.
Oh, I'm still muted too. Dang
There
it.
you go.
Am I muted?
No, Dano's good. Turd. Okay, now I can hear you as well. Everybody, unmute yourselves. And of course, a special guest tonight is DollaBilz. How you feeling?
Oh, I'm so excited. So excited to be here. It's good to be back. I'm still reacclimating to both the Eastern Standard Time as well as absolute dumpster fire worth of weather.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
that sounds like quite an experience. For those of you who don't know, DollaBilz, member of THL for a long time. Used to do a ton of shoutcasting for us here. Me and him have been doing some shoutcasting as well outside of THL as well as within THL in the past. And he was just down, which is one of the reasons we got him on tonight at DreamHack Anaheim for the resurgence of Hearthstone, doing all the shoutcasting there along with Heatwave, right?
That's right.
I just want to hear about your experience. Just tell us a little bit about your weekend and just bringing Hearthstone kind of back to DreamHack.
Yeah, well, it was great to be there. I'm not sure how much people have been following Hearthstone at DreamHack, but it was completely cut for Atlanta. That was actually the first DreamHack I was supposed to do. Was when it came to Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
That would have been a much shorter commute, right? Just sort of down the road. It got there. So Anaheim was going to be the first DreamHack with sort of a new generation of Hearthstone going on.
Mm-hmm.
So getting to be a part of that was a huge honor and a privilege. And it was great that Itachi was there. And you know what's this is super embarrassing. So I'm just going to go ahead and say it in public in front of everybody. I recognized Itachi's name because obviously I think actually probably you and me, Mayanadon, several times Friday night fights and stuff. We would talk about Itachi, and I kept seeing, it's like, I know that name. I've cast this guy before, and I just completely, like, the synapses in my brain. Granted, now this is going to sound like an excuse, because it is. The time shift was just enough that I was drinking a lot of Monster Energy drink. One of the perks of being on production is you can just go up to the guy and just be like, "Suh, dude, let me get the green one." And by the end of the weekend, he wasn't even waiting for me to get there. He just like put 2 on the counter. And there was a point probably about halfway through day 3, I thought I was going to evolve into a different state of matter.
I think your blood just at that point turns to monster.
And your urine can look radioactive.
Oh yeah.
Apparently, yeah. Just a fun science fact. that I learned.
Well, there you go. Those 3 hours really take it out of you. You need that extra kick of the monster.
Yeah.
It's not like you flew international. You're like, in Australia where it's like completely reversed.
Right.
But I definitely have been there when you're just a little out of whack. But yeah, awesome. Do you have any other maybe like highlights or stories you wanna talk about? Or if anyone watching has any questions for DollaBilz, please ask them.
Yeah,
now.
and I'll admit to anything. I'll answer anything. One of the things that was surprising from just like a Hearthstone standpoint was how often I saw Galakrond Rogue fall on its face. And like everybody brought it.
Yeah.
Out of there's probably, I think there were 60 folks registered. One person didn't bring Rogue.
Wow.
And that person, this is a huge spoiler, so mute the stream. That person made it to grand finals. Right? Like which was just, it was, and I feel like this happens at most tournaments and probably in most metagames. It was like a strong deck. Everyone agrees Galakrond Rogue is good. Obviously, 59 out of 60 people brought it. And it just kept not hitting. It would take, someone would go up 2-0 in a series, their Galakrond Rogue would be last, and it would take all 3 games, and it would either get cornered and lose all 3 games, or it would get cornered, lose 2 games, and then it would hit the draw. Right? It's like, okay, he's got stuff into winning the game, doing like what it's supposed to do. It was bizarre to see. Just a rogue, a list that seems to be pretty consistent, at least in terms of performance, just not being. It is. That's one of those things that can happen, right? It's just it's a very small sort of sample size. It's like best of 5, and it falls within variance, but it's still crazy how often it seemed to happen. Also, Laura Walker Cho jumped up more times than I expected.
I remember
Dragon Rider. I felt bad
was
for
down
her.
there.
Holy smokes.
Yeah, Dragon Rider, another member here of THL who that was a little unfortunate there. We talked a little bit about it afterwards. But yeah, no, definitely, amazing experience that you could have had there. And I do agree. Actually, I've been seeing that in THL a little bit to give sort of a view on some of my matches in past weeks. But there have been weeks where I reverse sweep the rogue. Like I might be down and then just somehow get there against the rogue. It does have the potential to just do really nutty stuff, but it also sometimes can be a little slow, and you can take advantage of that.
Not that this says anything at all, but I'm 3-7 with Rogue this season. No, I'm just really bad with Rogue, so there's that. But
yeah,
I wish I could blame it on this whole thing.
Yeah, I was like, Rogue is a deck that requires you to know what you're supposed to be doing, and like half the time I don't. I'm like, I just need to stop bringing this deck because there is a basic level that I am just not at. So I'm just not going to bring it anymore, and I'm going to stop losing games I shouldn't lose. So
there you go, easy peasy.
That's the biggest brain you can get. That's big brain right there. When you realize your limits and you bring what you can do, man, and then practice until you can bring the other thing again.
You got it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's if anyone has, we have one more question here from Diamond, who's opting for us tonight. He's our semi-permanent op when he can show up. He can't talk back tonight, so I can give him a little shade.
He's just gonna change your picture to something.
Oh no, he's got an angry face in chat. But yeah, he asked Dalla. He's asking you, how was casting with Heatwave? I know he's newer to Hearthstone casting. Is what he said.
Oh, it was really fun, and it's always great to cast with just a wide variety of folks. And casting with him, first of all, this has nothing to do with his knowledge of Hearthstone, but he has one of just the best in-person announcer voices that I don't know if you've been in a room with Heatwave, but he does. I'm just gonna go ahead and tell all of his secrets. He does vocal warm-ups before he starts because he's a professional. And I don't. I shotgun a can of Monster.
Can you give us an example of something?
Yeah. I mean, when forced to, I will do because I'm a professional. Yeah, that's right.
A different sort of professional.
Yeah, just and so he'll at the end of every match, go get some water, hit the restroom or something like, or a monster, just like make sure you let the round of Swiss finish out or what have you. And then we come back to the table. We're sitting pretty close to each other at the production table, and he every time he would come in and he would get ready and I'm going to back up for my microphone a little bit because I don't want to peg the limiter. But he would come in, he'd sit down and he'd go, "Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the main event."
Every time.
Amazing.
Every time. And at first I was like, okay,
outstanding.
we're just having a good time. We met each other about 3 minutes before we started the first match. And I was like, okay, this is just he's being, we're breaking the ice. This is a fun icebreaker thing. But then after like the 7th round of Swiss, I was like, oh no, this is a thing. This is a real thing. Should I be doing this?
Yeah, is this something I should do?
That's amazing.
Yeah. And then by like semifinal number 1, I was convinced. I was like, this is definitely a thing. He's gonna do this every time. Just psychosomatic, the getting himself ready, warming up the pipes, the delicate pipes.
Yeah, it's got to hit both those sides. It's got to get you in the mindset too. Just like getting the announcer voice on.
Yeah.
Even I
definitely-
got an announcer voice.
Yeah, no, I mean, this is not how I sound when I talk to my girlfriend. I just sound like this for you guys.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is my wife.
There you go.
This is also
But yeah,
my
hey there,
announcer
Manny.
voice. It's always high and squeaky. It's cool.
I like it. You crush it on the podcast. You do a good job.
Appreciate it.
But yeah, this week we are not having our had stats. The meta did not shift too much, but if everyone likes it, we can bring it back in future weeks. We just figured we wanted to talk more about DreamHack than we did the stats this time around. But if everyone's ready, let's jump in and start the last week review.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
All right. So our first match of the Gold Conference from last week. It is my pleasure to talk about this one. 4th and Inches versus the Misfits. I predicted this pretty well, I will say. But there were a couple of upsets I didn't quite predict. Maybe not upsets, but still really, really well done there. The Misfits 2 weeks in a row showing that if they're gonna lose, they'll do it in a big way. They're not gonna just take it. They're gonna fight back. Last week I think they actually won and defeated the Wet Woman, right? That's correct, right? Am I
The
making that
week
up?
before this, you mean?
Yeah, the week before this. Yes.
I'll check while you continue.
Okay, I feel like their one win was over a really big team.
Mayanadon? Sorry, no. The Misfits, they didn't beat Wet Woman.
Oh, so who beat Wet Woman last week? Oh, you're right. It was the Galacronies, wasn't it? That's my mistake.
It's
was
this
out-
week, yeah.
Yeah.
Or the one we're
right.
talking about, sorry.
You're right. Yeah, totally my mistake. That's not correct. But they're showing that they're going to fight and not just going to go quietly into the night. And I do think though that this loss does eliminate them from the playoffs. I'm not entirely sure. I haven't done the math, but it feels that way. Just looking at it. Sorry. But yeah, no, I mean, good wins there by Donnie and Mr. Incredible getting his first win of the season here against Super Murloc, a really, really strong 4 seed there. So kudos to Mr. Incredible, maybe finding their stride here. And Donnie over your mom kid, I've played against your mom kid several times now, and a really, really good player. And Donnie as well, but I think was taking a break for quite a while. So to see that win impressed me. And then Itachi, Ron, and Rage just continuing their incredible seasons, just making sure the 4th and Inches cannot be beaten here. But yeah, that's my take here. Anyone else have any thoughts? I don't know. I feel like I was talking for longer than 2 minutes. I don't know if we forgot the rope this time.
Oh, yeah, I totally did. I knew I was supposed to do something.
Felt like you let me ramble
like-
there, man.
I'm
felt
like sitting here, I'm like, I feel like I'm supposed to be doing something, but I don't think I am.
Well, this is a new thing. We started last week. For people that haven't watched in a couple weeks, we've introduced a rope for each of these segments. Just because we have so many matches to talk about, we want to make sure we get, give every match equal time. So we're implementing that. But I'm assuming we've overshot our time here. So if anyone has any last things they want to say them now. If not,
Super quick. I just want to talk about the difference. So Itachi at DreamHack was playing Highlander, Hunter, Quest Druid, Highlander, Mage, and Galacron Rogue. Here, it looks like he's playing Hunter, Mage, and Rogue, but is opting for Warrior instead. So that would seem to indicate that this warrior not perform for him, so he switched to Quest Druid for DreamHack, or is this since DreamHack?
I feel like this was at the same time, if I recall.
He would have registered on Wednesday. DreamHack was what, Thursday it started?
It was Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Yeah, so he would have reported on Wednesday. So
I honestly think this happened during DreamHack at some time. I'm pretty sure I saw something in the Discord, and if Itachi's watching or someone that knows this, or Ted, yeah. So Diamond says that he played the game during DreamHack. So he was maybe not happy with the deck during DreamHack, or maybe, I guess you submit on Wednesday, so he maybe changed his mind afterwards, but was able to get a big win there.
Yeah, dropped his Quest Druid for the warrior. Maybe wasn't happy with. Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
Because his Quest Druid got banned several times.
Yeah, maybe he might have switched the warrior for that very reason. He figured
draw the Druid ban.
Right. Awesome. Any last thoughts before we jump to the next match of last week?
Got a quick one. So Misfits 9 points against 4th and Inches. That's a win. That's a win. It's been a tough season. I mean, they are like way under PR cap. I think taking 9 points from the best team in the conference is a good thing. So,
and not only that, limiting 4th and Inches to 14 points is like,
yep,
for sure. No, that's what I was trying to say, but I was rambling. But that was generally my point, but I said it in not such an eloquent way. Shaking off the rust here. But yeah, let's jump into the match 2 then of the Gold Conference. So we have Asadude versus Serenite Pain Gang Turd. This one's on you.
Alrighty, thank you, Mayanadon. So this is Asadude versus Serenite Pain Gang. Much like Misfits, I think this match is going to put Serenite Pain Gang kind of on the bench for the rest of the season here, or at least in the playoffs. Only getting 62 points so far. I think that eliminates them. I haven't done the math just like Mayanadon, but they have less points than Misfits. So if you think that Misfits is not going to make it, I got to imagine Serenite Pain Gang likely won't either. Obviously, things can happen. I'm not, trying to cast doom and gloom if I'm incorrect with my math here, but there it is. Snake, Icon, and Medusas all getting it done. Those were the predictions that I made before going into it. I also predicted Cypher. It looked like there was possibly an issue with some DQs there.
I'm not sure, but
yeah, you hate to see it either way. But going into a bye week for Asadude with this 5-0 victory is crazy. I know Icon was in the Discord earlier this week kind of saying, like, why are people keeping us down? And I mean, I think that with this performance this week, now it was a different ranked team, a team kind of towards the bottom. But I think Asadude definitely proved that they're in the fight for the playoffs. They definitely want one of those 4 spots. So yeah, one last thing I wanted to say was the bans on Asadude's side were a little interesting. 2 paladins, a druid, and a priest. Obviously the people that made those bans knew what they were doing, probably more than I do, and they get the wins. So definitely interesting. Nothing else.
Nothing else. Okay, one last thing before the rope times out here. This was Darkside's first loss of the season. Incredible season, and that's it. We're done. Moving on to the next one.
All right. So I get to have the wow, right? I have the big upset in Dad Legend versus Pod People in Matatom's upsetting Yellow Dart.
Wow.
Yeah, I agree, Sensual Lady. Like, that's just looking at the numbers here. This is so I'll just also go ahead and freely admit that I am going to be looking at this from someone who did not have the opportunity to watch these matches. So it's going to be a little I'm going to say some stuff that's wrong. Absolutely set me on fire for it.
We'll correct you where we can.
Absolutely. That's a much more diplomatic way of but just initial impressions, I'm noticing that Pod People didn't choose to ban Hunter a single time, which, calling back on my DreamHack experience, Hunter was one of the most frequently banned in every iteration. Dragon Hunter, Highlander Hunter, every single kind of Hunter. Most folks were not interested in playing against it. Looks like Pod People were interested in playing against it, and it looks like it worked out for them because I'm seeing on their side Druid, Rogues, and Priest bans. Whereas Dad Legend is doing more what I saw with the Hunter bans with the occasional Warrior. And then, of course, Bill Snyder bringing in the Priest ban. Let's see other cool things. The whole series kind of looks like a nail biter. I'm looking at a lot of 3-2s and 2-3s. Only sorry, Mayanadon. you're the only one.
It's all right. I can speak to that once you're done. I will say that nail biter is a different one of our things. So this was a wow, not a nail biter, sir. But it was also a nail biter. I will say it was.
Yeah.
It was
Came down to the last match. So
Yeah, and you love to see the. I mean, this is the kind of score. It looks like neither Dad Legend nor Pod People is out, but it also looks like they're both on the bubble with a 3-1-2 and a 3-3 record with about 100 points. And so now all of a sudden, who you were talking about, Turd, Sarah Night Pain Gang and the Misfits, they now get to be gatekeepers, right? They get to be spoilers. So their role kind of changes a little bit for the bubble teams. They have to beat Misfits and Sarah Night Pain Gang. And I remember this is years ago because I'm an old man. In Trinity series,
saying not on bubble, both in. I will say that I agree.
Oh, they're both in. Okay.
Well, we're both in the top 4, which is playoffs, but it's still tight. That second, the bottom 2 are kind of bubble teams. So.
Okay, gotcha. Well, there was a Trinity series where I think it was just saying Trump and I forget the third person on their team. They didn't start winning until they were completely out of contention, and then they started beating everybody. Because they were just ruining stuff for people, and that appeared to be what they needed.
Enough motivation, yeah. Absolutely. I just to speak about my match as a personal experience. Oh, also, this was Dano's Turd episode of the week. Last week he had Matt over Yellow Dart and predicted that right.
That one, Turd.
So nailed that one. It was Dano's Turd episode of the week. It's our segment there.
Yeah. I don't think I had one last week.
No, I don't think so. Oh, we're almost out of time. But anyway, I will say Rocio played incredibly well. But game 2, I needed to take a breath because I don't care that the time's up. I'm gonna just finish my thought here.
Do your thing, man. Your show.
Played incredibly well, but I did need a break after match 2 because he hit a 1 out of 17 Shirvala lethal. He had to dodge. There were 4 albatrosses in the deck. He had 2 Holy Wraths, 17 cards in the deck, had 2 shots at the 1 out of 17, 1 out of 16 for Shirvala, and then 4 albatrosses. If any of them were in the 4 out of 17 or the 4 out of 16, I would have lived as well because I was at 27. Yeah, so that made me have to take a yeah. Zerocio's in chat. Yeah, he felt bad about that one too, but it was his out that he played it really well. It was just the
working as intended, if you ask me.
Yeah, totally working as intended. But yeah, really great match there. And Zerocio continues an incredible season. Yeah. Awesome.
And
let's jump to the next match. Yeah, time. I nailed it. That was perfect. All right, the next match is the 4th match of the Gold Conference from last week. It is Wet Woman versus the Galacronies. Yeah, that was this. This is the match I was thinking about that confused me, but this is the one.
Yeah, so this is our beatdown as well. And a completely unexpected beatdown, I would say, with the Galacronies just coming 20-6 over Wet Woman. How does that song go? 2 out of 5 ain't bad. Pretty sure that's right. So I got 2 out of 5 this week, and I'm going to take it. So the Wet Woman last week looked like a lock for the playoffs, but this is going to make things a little bit dicey. Last week I said that the Wet Woman had some wiggle room because they'd already had their bye week. Well, consider the wiggle room unwiggled. It's going to be tight from here on out. So huge congrats to the Galacronies for the clean sweep and forcing their way back into the playoff conversion. How Gold Conference shakes out is anyone's guess because the top 2 teams in the conference each have a bye in the last 2 weeks of the season. So it looks like the top 2 have a fair bit of space, but really it's kind of just 4th and inches because everyone else is kind of right in this one. So
Yellow Dart with the thank you Starlax for the loss. I think Starlax has been on Dad Legend in the past and is I think on the hero team, the Dad Legend hero team. Yeah. So a little bit of a connection there, maybe helping us out in Legacy in some way. Probably, I'm sure not intentional. Not probably. I'm sure it wasn't intentional, but I do enjoy Yellow Dart's joke there. Anyone else have any thoughts here before we run out of time? I haven't heard the rope. I feel like maybe
Just want to once again point out 8 out of 10 Hunter bans. This is more what I'm used to. This is what.
This is what it looks like.
This is
No
it.
way it's been most season, to be fair. No, I forgot to hit the button because I was talking. Don't worry, I'll get used to it. By the time the season's over, I'll have it down. So,
Okay. And time. All right. Yeah, really, really incredible win there for Yao Cronies. Big upset for sure. And next match of actually we're jumping to the red conference from last week is you again, Dano. So you get to keep talking.
It's me again, which is what everyone wants, is me talking as much as possible. Congrats to the new Red Conference Golden Legendary team, the Good Luck Albatrosses. I'm also going to claim 5 out of 5 correct on this one, since 2 of my predictions came down to Game 5. So congrats to me as well.
Is that how it works?
Yeah, that's how it works. It's a coin flip, right? Once you get to the Game 5, it's a coin flip.
Right.
So yeah, I get to claim all 5 there. Clean sweep for me. So, so this was an absolutely crazy match. It came down to a stream match between DeSharmo and Don. So this was an incredibly tight match the whole way down. So 12-15 lost by the Zilfs. The nice part is they don't have the win, but they still have the points. So they're actually sitting atop the red conference in a pretty good spot. So they lost the battle, but it's long way to go between these two teams. They are definitely the class of red conference. I think it's kind of hard to argue with that at this point.
Yeah, this was a super hype match. I think we had a couple of these on stream, and they, like you said, going to Game 5. Really, really awesome matches. Anyone else have any more thoughts on this before we jump to the next match? Yeah, Diamond says top 2 slugging it out. It really was. Really was. And I'm sure we'll see this again in the playoffs.
So close.
Yeah, I mean, it came right down to it. This is a heck of a match, right? I mean,
And now they're within 1 point. Holy
Yeah.
cow.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be so much fun to watch these two just the rest of the season go on, because they really are the top 2 teams in red, and it's kind of them and everybody else, right? So it was kind of a match, kind of befitting kind of where they're at in this season, and yeah, kudos to both teams, honestly. So
And actually
just looking
something-
at this, yeah. No, sorry. Go ahead.
I was just saying one thing I want to point out with Hot Zilfs lost here. Them, Dad Legend, and Wet Woman, all of them lost their matches. Those were the last remaining undefeated teams. So there are no undefeated teams remaining anymore.
Cool.
So cool.
Gods can bleed.
I didn't enjoy it, but you know.
Well, yeah, I mean, of course.
well, I mean, yeah.
It was kind of cool that like we had these 3 teams that were just seemingly unbeatable, literally, and then they all 3 on the same week got their first loss. Kind of cool to me.
I guess Mercury or something was in retrograde or whatever people say.
yeah, sure. That's definitely how that works.
That's totally what happened. And
That's science, actually.
On that note, and that science lesson that I gave you, let's jump to match 2 of the red conference from last week. This one's yours, Terd.
Yeah, so this is Toxic Reinforcements versus Not YJs, and they continued the trend that we kind of saw a little bit with the limited number of Hunter bans, all kinds of Druid bans, just all kinds of weird stuff going on here. I'm sure I commented on this last week, but the Toxic Reinforcement brings all kinds of mages and priests and paladins and warriors. It's freaking me out, man. It's a little weird, a little out there. But either way, they got it done. I actually was really close with my predictions. I had the top 4, 1 through 4 seeds correctly predicted.
Nice.
I mean, it's really easy to get the Lemons prediction. They are 5-0.
Yeah, F Sriracha's probably a safe bet too.
Yep, F Sriracha got the win there, and that was the prediction. And then I predicted Triss and Isocles. And they both got their win there. So obviously going as I predicted, as I expected.
Right, perfect prediction.
The only one that didn't go the way that I was thinking was Chubbs Peterson Hands versus Silver T-Fox Demon. In my mind, that was a little bit of a toss-up. I honestly don't know. I've talked with Chubbs Peterson's hand, but I don't know his playstyle. Yeah, I have. Over on one of the Discords, I got invited to.
Oh
Or whatever.
my god! Oh
What?
no, that was the best. That was amazing. you talked to the hand. You talked to Chubb Peterson's hand.
I was talking to Chubbs Peterson's hand,
And what did it say? What did
It said that I'm going to win this week, but it lied. His hand lied.
Man.
So I didn't know
Wow.
what I did wrong. I was like,
I
oh, no,
don't,
they
I don't know. I don't know why that's so funny. I don't know why that's so funny to me.
Oh, that made my
That's,
night.
That's all I got. That's all I got.
Anyone else have anything to say? I think I'm ready to.
It just
That was.
I heard top that.
it seems like Lemons and Coles just really suck at losing.
Yeah,
right.
the worst losers.
Ridiculous. Ugh.
Yeah. I got
Dude.
swept by Lemons the first week of the season, and I was like, "Oh man, it's a brand new player, got just smoked." No, feeling pretty good about that right now. I'm like, yeah,
Yeah, it's like
good job,
well,
Lemons.
okay.
Keep it up, making me
Just
look
pulling a
good.
regular
That's-
Dano.
That's how everyone
Yeah.
rationalized losing to you last season.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
Hopefully, it works out better for Lemons than did for me. So,
All right, so jump into the next match of the Red Conference from last week is Bai versus Team Anoyo Team. DollaBilz, this one's yours.
Yeah, so no Coleses or Lemons on these. This is a bunch of scrappers. Got a bunch of folks that have been in there. They've taken hits. They've dealt hits. Nobody in here has been skunked, but nobody in here is lossless either. It's funny looking at the match scores. You know, I saw like, oh man, 3-0, 3-1, 3-2. The number of points, 14 to 11 is pretty tight. But it just seems like it was haymakers, right? It was 3-0 from No Glocko, and then actually, so the one there were two tight series. Looks like Amaj 10 versus Agent PWE, but then Disco 3-1's Dano. Sorry.
yeah, no, all good, all good.
There's a trend with the
predicted
hosts
that.
on the show today. The 3-1s against us.
And I have to point it out.
Yeah, all good, all good. Hey,
Gave you that
I was
honor.
there.
You-
I was
only,
there.
only our guests can shame us.
Because I'll be gone. I'm leaving town. It's interesting looking at these bring grids because I'm always interested in the fourth deck, right? That people choose to bring. So I mean, Bai seems to be pretty interested in Druid and Hunter, with the exception of Disco not bringing Druid and Snake Fods not bringing Hunter. Everyone, Druid and Hunter, and then what's the fourth one? It seems to be there. We got a couple of Warlocks in there. I personally love Warlock, though I've seen it not necessarily fire on all cylinders here recently. I personally really love stuff like Galakrond Control Warlock, stuff like that, but I'm just not sure that I would necessarily bring it to a tournament. Then again, if you have a plan, and it's a deck that can do, it's got powerful things that it can do.
I will point out that both of the players that brought the Warlock did not get the win. Unfortunately,
That's a great point, actually. That's the those were the two losses for Team Bai, were the two folks who brought Warlock. I don't know if the Warlocks were the ones that lost, but I also would not be surprised.
All right, and that's time. Any last thoughts here?
Team Anoyo team didn't ban a single Hunter. I find that very surprising.
Borderline
Like I said,
offensive.
I had a plan. It just didn't work.
Been there.
If you're executing a plan, then execute the plan. Absolutely.
Yeah, well, it's been it's the story of my season, to be honest. Just a lot of plans, not a lot of
A
executing.
lot of plans.
Well, it sounds like maybe you shuffled your deck wrong. It sounds like maybe it needed to shuffle the
Oh, I
decks a little
most
bit.
certainly shuffled my deck wrong.
Yeah,
That happened.
Oh, yeah. All right. So if that's our last thoughts there, let's jump to the final match of the Red Conference from last week. Oh, Disco saying Dano did have a plan and it was much better than mine. I just RNG'd butter. Well, that's a very nice thing to say.
Don't know if that's 100% true, but I think you beat the snot out of me fair and square.
Sometimes plans, it doesn't matter. Sometimes good plans. What's that saying? There's a saying, but I don't
The
remember.
best laid plans.
Yeah,
I
best
got
laid
the-
plans. There you
I
go.
got the win with the priest, which was the most important part of the week for me, and so yeah, I was happy with that.
Not banning a single hunter and not winning seems to be a good match from Super Murloc there. Very, very nice. Okay, let's jump to match 4 of the Red Conference final match from last week. It is Just Rogue Things versus DeStubbs, and this here is our nail biter. Boom. Super, super close. 13-14. Cannot get closer than this one. 1 point away. Literally cannot get closer unless you tie, obviously. That does happen. We did it twice as Dad Legend, so I know all about it. But I also could have been closer with my guesses. I got 4 of them right, although it does look like something may have happened with the ban on comp side. Did not matter, though, it turns out, for the top there. But yeah, Siege was the only prediction I got wrong. I had Dexter winning that one, but Siege spoils my perfect prediction. Thank you very much. It was a 3-2. There's 3 of these matches were 3-2, so very, very close. And both of these teams, I think, are actually they're on the bubble and kind of fighting for a win. So to see them this close in a match like this is pretty cool. And I think they both have a shot still after this, even though the Stubbs have a better shot. Just Rogue Things are not out of it yet. All right. Anyone else have any thoughts about this match?
I think this is a 4-0 streak for the Stubbs, actually, isn't it? Did they start 0-3?
Oh, it might very well be. That does sound about right.
Yeah, because I think we were both hunting our first win, I think, in week 4, and they won, and I don't think they've stopped winning, I think. So I could be wrong, though. There might have been like 1 and 2 or something like that. But
I definitely think they have turned it around the second half of the season so far, though.
Sure.
So really fighting for that playoff spot here. Anyone else have any more thoughts before we jump to the tier list?
Nope.
Cool. Awesome. So let's jump right in. It's tier list time. These are provided, as always, by the THL podcast. If you want to speak a little briefly about that, Dano.
Yeah, sure. So this is a podcast that Matt at Arms and I do every week. Comes out on Tuesdays when I'm not busy at work, and Wednesdays when I am. So So we have a couple different like spreadsheets that we kind of pull together every week. We look at PR plus or minus. We look at strength of schedule. We look at ranking and just all kinds of good fun stuff. And then we just put together these tier lists from golden legendary to golden common. And they've been a ton of fun, to be honest. So the podcast is about 20 minutes long. So it's just quick and dirty, but I think it's better that way. So just in and out.
Absolutely. And now these are our rankings from the past 2 weeks. So last week and this week that we just had. And quite a few changes. We did speak a little bit to all of the undefeated teams losing. So we see a lot of changes there towards the top. People dropping down a little bit. We see both Dad Legend and Wet Woman drop down, a half a tier or a full tier. Good luck Albatrosses with their win jump up a little bit. Hot Sylphs, though, maintaining their spot even with that loss. It was a close loss to the Albatrosses there, who were able to jump up. And then a couple of the teams that jumping into the Epic with Not Yellow Jackets and Bye, maybe pushing for those bubble spots. Like we were talking about. Any other thoughts here? Anyone see a team they think should be higher or lower according to this current one?
I think they're as always pretty good, mostly good. Toxic Reinforcements, I think, is a team. They've kind of snuck under the radar. I think they had a pretty bad loss, maybe week 3, maybe week 4, or something like that. And I feel like people have kind of like forgotten about them, but they are a very good team. And I think putting them at the Epic range, I think they might be a golden Epic, if not a legendary team in the red conference. I think they're a lock for, maybe not 100% a lock, but I think they're a team definitely worthy of playoff contention. So seeing them as an Epic, that's the only one I had quibbles or quabbles with.
I'd like to steal a comment from Diamond real quick and try to pass it off as my own.
Absolutely.
Diamond points out that Not Yellow Jackets managed to both lose and move up. Can we talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, we sure can. So I went to bat.
And we'll ignore Diamond's comment here. That's right. He just messaged us. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. So part of the part of our discussion was, we're not a rankings podcast, we're a power rankings podcast, right? So how difficult is a team to play against, and then how are they performing based on like their perception to a certain point. So not Yellow Jackets started off, everyone expected them to be kind of bottom of the barrel, and week in and week out they've kind of surprised everybody. They just kind of find wins where they don't necessarily deserve wins, and have one of the last undefeated teams, and then through just a ton of adversity. I mean, I think 3 of the 5 players have turned over, or 2 players have turned over. 1 player turned over twice, and then another one. So, not been like a real easy season for them. Most of them are new to THL, and they still kind of just like make every week hard for whoever they're playing against. Like nobody scores much against them, and they don't score a whole lot either. So I think they're out of the playoffs at this point, really. Or pretty close to it. Like probably not mathematically, but it's getting pretty close. But their PR plus minus is huge. Like the PR gains they've had this season is just insane. From where they started. So they were just kind of really underrated, and we thought they kind of deserve that epic spot, even though their point total and doesn't really necessarily show it. So
Gotcha. Can you sort of on the same vein? So why has the epic tier become so? Because I'm looking at week 6 where it was pretty evenly distributed, 4, 3, and 5. Now it's 3, 7, and 3 again. Why is the epic tier getting so crowded?
Because of all the weird upsets this last week, basically, is what it came down to. So teams beating, so certain teams losing that we never would have imagined would have lost, and so it's kind of like the middle kind of got a little bit bigger, and then everything else kind of the bottom teams of the bottom teams. They've kind of been that way been pretty stable. But like the epic and rares have been kind of coming and going depending on how things have kind of looked. So this week was a little bit more love to some teams that got some pretty big wins, or teams like Dad Legend who are still very good, but maybe aren't that in that legendary spot this week. So
Gotcha.
Yeah, absolutely. And I do want to point out DeSharmo, not on the show tonight. He's still with us. Don't worry. He's still part of the show. Just he'll be back next week. He just started taking guitar lessons, so congratulate him, everybody. We're gonna probably be moving to a later time, maybe like 15 to 30 minutes later. We'll keep you guys posted about that, just so we can accommodate him doing that, as well as we just had a pretty full house today, so wanted to keep things as quick as possible.
He told us he was going to record a new intro song in exchange. Yeah.
He promised as soon
after
as he's
1
got
week
it down.
of lessons. Yeah.
Exactly.
That's what I heard.
That is the DeSharmo guarantee.
Speaking
He's
of
gonna be so mad.
Speaking of DeSharmo, I did promise him last week that whoever won between the Hot Zilfs and the Good Luck Albatrosses were Golden Legendary this weekend, and Good Luck Albatross is Golden Legendary, and I think well deserved. So
Absolutely.
Yep.
Awesome.
Cool.
And to just finish off that announcement, I did mention at the top of the show, but I will not be here next week. I'm on vacation, but I will be back the following week, so don't miss me too much. But we'll have a really good squad here to hold things down. But yeah, now let's jump into the commercial break. Who's going to take it away today? Anyone feeling good about it?
Yeah, I can let this rip. All right, hold on. Let me see. Okay, hold on. Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the main event. All right, now I'm ready. All right, so for everybody watching, first of all, thank you so much for tuning in. Please consider subscribing to the channel. The subscription enables the THL team, which is these fine folks around me, to help cover the various costs of operating the website, as well as improve the quality of the streams and content to our viewers. That's you. If you have Amazon Prime or Twitch Prime, absolutely sling that sumbitch over here. We will take it. Subscribers will get a THL emoticon, as well as the lovely THL chat badge. Hit the heart button, keep notifications set to on, and make sure you catch the team broadcasting live. We appreciate each and every one of you. That was the royal we. But also, it's actually everybody. Special note to the viewers, check out THL's other social media points of interest, such as the website, teamhearthlegends.com, Twitter at THL_HS, and the Discord, which is, of course, Team Hearth Legends.
Yes, and also all of our shows are uploaded onto YouTube by Saku, following the show, so you can find them there. And there are timestamps now. Saku's been working on that, so really optimizing it and making a really good experience for everyone that wants to watch. And we, like I said, we have shows every day of the week pretty much besides Monday right now. So stay tuned for all of those. Awesome. So let's jump into the next section here. Before our week 6 preview, it is Bye Felicia.
Bye, Felicia.
There you go. And this week on Bye are Asa Dude and Destub. So enjoy your rest week. Take it easy. Both of those teams, I think, going to be fighting for spots. So going to have to get some wins following their bye. And now let's jump into the Gold Conference here for match 1, 4th and Inches versus Wet Woe Men. And I did not write my prediction, so let's do this on the fly. Ooh, that 1 seed match is super, super close. Oh, and the 2 seed match, I want to see both of those. This is going to be an incredible series, actually. 4th and Inches versus Wet Woe, 2 really, really powerful teams. I want to see those. I think it's going to come down to those. Actually, even the 3 seed, I mean, oh, man. This is hard to predict. I might have to defer to you guys here on what you think, but I'll give my initial thoughts. But I could see this going either way. I mean, it's so hard to bet against Itachi and Ron, but it's also really hard to bet against Liquid Ox and Dragon Rider. The only match that I'm feeling pretty comfortable about predicting is Rage Doppel, who's having an incredible season, beating Quirky Turtle, who has not had such a stellar season this season, but still obviously captaining a really, really strong team that's having a good season. So sure she will turn that around soon. So I'm going to have with Rage Doppel, though, for this week. And then I'm going to go with Matty Ebbs, your mum Ked. Ooh, this one's so hard. I'm going to go with Ron, although I think it's super, super close. I don't know. And then I'm going to go with Itachi. And again, that one's super close. But I think that means my prediction's 4-1, 4th and Inches.
Yeah.
But I do think the 1, 2, 3, and even the 4 are gonna could go either way. Like I could see them all going to Game 5, and I wouldn't be surprised. What is everybody else's thoughts here?
I think the only one I'm going to quibble with you about is Dragon Rider.
Yeah, no, please. I think Dragon Rider is an incredible player, and I also think that she has every chance to win that one.
Yeah, and I think just like due to how luck doesn't work this way, but like she is due for some good luck after this weekend, and so like Rom Mex.
The only thing I'll add,
yeah, please,
is does lightning strike twice? The answer is yes. Quirky Turtle upset over Rage Double. Calling it now.
Whoa!
Boom.
Yeah, I think she's
All
gonna
right,
find
put it
here.
on the sheet. Put it on the sheet.
I'll put it on the sheet for sure. No, I think she finds it here. She was the original turd upset of the week, and she's gonna make it happen again today, or not today, this week.
I think that's a compliment. Yeah,
It's nothing against Rachel. I mean, he's a great player. Obviously, the guy's 6-1, probably the best 5 seed in Legacy right now. But I just think Quirky Turtle's gonna find it. I just do. I think I got a feeling, some kind of feeling.
Gosh, she switched
some
up her
kind of
lineup from
feeling.
DreamHack as well, because it's just of course, just fascinating because she had an amazing run. She had an amazing run through the Swiss. Dragon Rider didn't make it a championship Sunday, but switched up the decks. It's interesting.
Yeah, I think there's especially. I mean, this format is a little bit different. It is closed deck list, so
Oh, for sure.
you're maybe you want more flexible classes and have a little bit more options rather than just bringing a deck that is good, but maybe can be targeted, or a class that like Mage where there's really only one archetype, so you can expect it. But I've still seen it do well. So
Yeah.
definitely different strategies that you can use here. But yeah, that's my predictions there. I think this is an insane match, and I want everything on stream if we can. But
Yeah, no
we'll
kidding.
see. All right, so let's jump to the next match of the Gold Conference coming up this week. It's Dad Legend versus Serenite Pain Gang.
Yeah.
DollaBilz, take it
this
away.
one, so just the tail of the tape of this one should be just a Dad Legend win. Actually, it looks like Mayanadon has already delivered on part of that with a 3-0 win over Cypher Zero.
Yeah,
So
I will say
that's a
I
pretty
was
easy prediction for me.
I was salty about my match last week in the RNG there, but I did have my game 3 on this series. I got some quite good top decks, and maybe my RNG is reversing a little bit.
Yeah,
I will say.
it's that expected value, right? You just
Yeah.
ride the waves. So, tail of the tape. It looks like so Mayanadon's already delivered on that, but it looks like it should be probably Bill Snyder over Silent Tree Dart. Silent Tree Dart. I don't know if I'm saying that right.
Silent Red Art.
Yeah.
Silent Red RT, of course. And then
Is that something like that, right?
I wouldn't be surprised if Yellow Dart comes out and plays Mad as well against Darkseid. And then I have to go. I think my upset of this series, I'm going for you, Turd. I want you to beat Black Magic.
Yeah.
No, nothing against Black Magic, but I'm looking at the and then going back to the number one to the number one fight here. I think obviously is positioned well to take this. I'm just not convinced about the strength of Warlock right now, and Zabe's got that Warlock fourth deck potentially that's just gonna not allow him to necessarily make it over. So my predictions in order: obviously Mayanadon, which has already happened, Bill Snyder, Yellow Dart, and TerdHerder. Dad Legend takes it home.
Very, very
Can't dispute with that. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll take it. All right. Anyone else have any thoughts here on this match?
Can't disagree.
Can't disagree. I will take it. Awesome. So let's jump right into the next match. If anyone else has any more thoughts here, match 3 of the Gold Conference for this week is Pod People versus the Misfits. Look at us. We're ahead of time on that one.
We're just so good at this, is what it is. We're just seasoned pros.
Professionals.
Yep. What they always say about Tavern Talk, the most professional show on Twitch.
That's true.
On television. That's right. We're going to be live on TV next week. Catch us.
Sounds great.
All right.
All right, me, Pod People versus the Misfits. Right? Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
Yeah, this is you.
Pod People versus the Misfits. So, in the 1 and the 2 seed, there is a difference of 372 PR between each team. So, if either Craig of Canada or the Big Ted finds a win, it potentially a BGH candidate. So, good luck there, guys. I think the most interesting match of the series is between the 3 seeds, Mad at Arms and the Town Drunk. I'm gonna go with the Town Drunk.
I think we have a breaking news, Dano.
Oh, do we? Oh no. What I miss?
We have for this match Zeroshio taking another win, 3-2 over Craig of Canada.
Oh,
wow.
It's a tight one. Craig is sneaky good. Hope he keeps on losing so I can get him onto the Team Anoya team next season. Keep up the good work, Craig. So I think I'm going to go with the Town Drunk because I think he is a slightly hotter hand, and I like how his classes match up, though I do expect this to go to 5 games. Wicked Good didn't bring Priest this week, which is insane. I had Wicked Good winning this match, and then I saw he didn't bring Priest, and Wicked Good not bringing Priest, and maybe the best week to bring Priest is insane to me. So I think he's going to obsess over that and get like way in his head and think about every game him having Priest and not having it, and then loses to Mr. Incredible. So tough break for Wicked Good there. And then in the 5 seed, it's almost a mirror, but with Sako with the Rogue and Quaz with the Mage. I think I like the Mage better in this match, not for a class, but just how the classes match up. But I'm not going to bet my dinner on it. But so Quaz in a tight one. So I've got the Misfits over Pod People, 3-2.
The Misfits over Pod People, 3-2. So they win which ones? Because we already have Quaz already won, Zeroshio already won. So you have, what were the other 2? So you have Donnie winning and Mr. Incredible winning?
3, 4, and 5 winning for the Misfits, and then 1 and 2 for Pod People.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't see Quaz. That was already done. I didn't realize that. Oh,
Yeah.
Look how smart I look. Hey.
So smart.
So
but yeah, no, really interesting match here. I think Misfits starting off with a good lead, but Pod People, Zeroshio kind of bringing it back to survivable here. So
it's a big points by Craig though. That's good.
Yeah,
good on him.
Yeah, absolutely. Anyone else have thoughts on this match before we jump to the next one? Cool.
Seems good.
Awesome.
Seems solid.
So, match 4 of the Gold Conference, the final match of the Gold Conference for this week upcoming is the Galacronies versus Always Top Deck Lethal.
Yes. And boy, did we save a good one for last here. This has got to be the nail biter, right? I mean, these guys are all similarly ranked PR, almost have identical records with the exception of Mako, who have already played and won. So for the remaining one, I think you could literally flip a coin for almost each of these matches, and probably be just as correct as maybe I would.
Hey, breaking news.
We have more.
More breaking news. People are loving the breaking news sound. They are playing their matches during the show right as we start finishing up so they can catch the review and get us to view the breaking news sound. Brick taking it over Booze 3-2.
Yes, that was where my coin was going to flip. It was going to be towards Brick. So, so now I only have 3 picks to make. This is
yeah, there you go.
Interesting. I think I'm going to go with Pond in the 1.
All right.
I'm going to go with Sage in the 5. And I don't have a coin to flip for the 4. I'm going to go with my boy Ghost. I feel bad because I think whenever I pick Ghost, he doesn't do great, so I feel bad, but I got to pick my boy Ghost.
So what does that end up being?
I think it's going to wind up being a 3-2.
3-2.
No, yeah, 3-2 for Galconies.
Yeah. Nice. Okay. They are coming off a really hot week for them, so we'll see if they can keep it up.
And again, I do think it's going to be very close. I don't know. We declared nail biters after it's already happened, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think this one's going to be it. If I can, shoot my shot here.
Predict you the nail biter. Are you predicting next week's nail biter? I like it.
I like it. It's totally necessary and kind of wonderful. Good work.
Kurt's nail biter prediction of the week.
Yeah,
there we go.
Sound like it.
It doesn't sound quite as good.
No.
Can you mix like the flush sound with the chattering teeth in some really repulsive way? Oh God, I don't like that. All right, okay.
Please stop.
All right.
So this is me, yeah. Hot Zelfs versus Team Manoyo team.
Yeah.
Okay. There's some. I foresee some fun matches on this one. The Hunter Priest Rogue Warrior lineup from Coles is going up against the Hunter Mage Rogue Warlock lineup of Nulltown, and I think Coles takes that one. Not only because of my lack of faith necessarily in the ability of Warlock to get there, but also just because I've seen people shuffle their mage decks upside down as well, and that can be a real. Looks like Rebob's.
It looks like there's an issue with the stream.
Oh, okay.
1 second.
I think we're back on.
We're back on. Okay, let's go ahead. Sorry about that.
Or am I wrong?
It's not like loading for me.
Yeah, it's not loading for me either.
But it says it's live.
It says it's live. I'm seeing Galacronies versus Always Septic Lethal. I don't know if people can hear us. Let's see.
Yeah, let me unmute it.
Oh,
Yeah.
wrong.
Oh, refresh worked. Okay, it looks like we're back. Yeah, I see Hot
Okay.
Cells versus Team Manoyo team now.
All right, Hot Zelfs Team Manoyo team for the first time. Never happened before. I'm still predicting. I have not changed my mind. I think it's Coles over Nulltown in the number 1 spot. It looks like Rebobson's actually already taken homage to the Yeet Zone.
To the Yeet
So,
Zone.
so that's a decision that's been made for me. Thank you for that, Rebob. This one right here, I think, has the possibility to be the nail biter. Donde versus Dano.
Ooh, yeah.
This is, I mean, I'm giving it to Dano because I'm just on.
He's here.
Right.
Yeah, he's here.
You don't want to insult him to his face twice. Twice in one show. You don't want to do that.
And the Warlock has to get there one time. I think this is the time. I think Dano's going to get there. You used up all your bad shuffles already. This is the week.
I'll tell you what. So, like, nothing has worked for me this season, but pretty much Warlock. So
Nice.
I'm confident in Warlock. I'm not confident in anything else, but Warlock's been good for me. So
That's excellent. So yeah, I think you're going to win. And then for 4 and 5, I think it's probably going to be. I'm kind of just going with doing a quick look at the matchups here. I think it's probably going to be Z Thund and Final Refuge. So I'm having Team Manoyo team take it 3-2 over Hot Zilfs with
I like
Coles
that.
and Rebob winning, and then Dano, Z Thund, and the Final Refuge.
Hey, now you're not doing that for everybody else. You can't be just because you have the soundboard in front of you. And you're the one in charge. You can't be
We
playing
are
favorites.
1-5 and 64 points. I'm taking everything we can get.
All right.
I
Fine.
think, I think yeah,
You
Team
can have
Anoya's
that
re-
one.
yeah, Team Anoya is ready to become the spoilers to just start
We
shaking.
were there
like-
last season. It was great.
Yeah, so you've got the snow globe of red conference time. Just start shaking it, just see what happens.
All right. And with that, anyone else have any last thoughts on this match before we jump to the second match of the Red Conference?
Obviously not because it was perfect.
Nailed it.
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, we can go with that.
Sure. Yeah, sure. Yeah, okay. We're out of time, so we're not allowing anyone else to talk about this match. Yep. Team Anoya team's gonna win it. I hope so. I hope so. I mean, you can make that your whole turd upset of the week based on the season so far. No offense, I love Team Anoya team, but Team Anoya team winning against Hot Sylphs to me is a team turd upset of the week. So I love it. I think you guys are great and have the potential, but just not your season so far against
It's not
the
been good.
number one or number two team in
I think
the
they're
conference.
1 by 1 point.
There you go. All right. So with that, we're jumping to match 2 of the Go Conferences. Good Luck Albatrosses versus Just Rogue Things. Turd, take it away.
Yeah, and of course this is the number 2 team by 1 point. Good luck, Albatrosses.
I will say before you make any predictions, I'm pretty sure the 9 Eyebrows sub is not happening. I think there's definitely a PR issue there. So I think I saw something in Discord about that.
So is that going to be? Yeah, boy, I don't know. Is that going to be?
Desharmo is saying, wait, breaking news: DQ in the 4 seed for Just Rogue Things hasn't been inputted yet. It's a sub, so they have till Thursday night, which is tonight.
I'm so confused.
I don't think that's a DQ Desharmo, but it might be a DQ based on maybe they didn't find a sub because 9 Eyebrows can't sub at that.
Oh, that might be right. I was. All right.
He's on the board, so I'm sure he knows something.
More
But
than-
I don't think it's because of the
I think he's on mobile.
classes. Oh, maybe.
Maybe.
All right. Anyway,
Whatever. He'll let us know.
Just don't guess about that. Just to ignore. I think.
I was gonna say it's me, Mike V. I think he's a good player. He's been on the show. He's a good guy. But I didn't see the 463 PR. That is quite a bit in the 4 seed.
Seems fair. Seems totally fair.
Yeah. But I'll ignore that for now.
Yeah.
Chewbacca versus Dexter. Man, do I want to give it to Chewbacca here? He's a good guy. I talk with him probably once a week. We talk about who is potentially going to be big game hunter. Spoiler alert, it's neither of us. But man, that's a close match. I got to give it to Chew.
I'm not saying it's a DQ based on something else. Okay, I think I just was confused by your hasn't inputted yet text. So it's a DQ based on something else, but it does look like that means it's a win for Good Luck. You can have more time. Sorry, we were trying to figure this out.
Okay.
So is that a DQ? I just want to confirm here, Desharmo. It's a DQ that Good Luck Albatrosses get the win there.
He'll let us know, hopefully.
Yeah, he'll let us know in a second. Continue your predictions there.
Yeah, I'm going Shoe Lotus. Basically, if I know you, you're gonna get points here.
That sounds very similar to my strategy.
Favoritism is great. I love it.
Man, this seems wrong. I always do this with this team. I really like Good Luck Albatrosses.
They're very good team.
They're good. They're good.
Yeah, Desharmo, I think, wins it too. I think Catman wins it. I mean, do I just go with the 5-0 here? I might as well. I basically did. I think I did. Yeah, 5-0. Good Luck Albatross.
We don't know about the 4, but did he answer actually?
He just said it's a DQ. I don't know what that means.
That doesn't answer my question, Desharmo. For who? Who gets the points?
I don't know. So I think that Chewbacca versus Dexter.
Good Luck
GLA
Albatrosses gets the win. Okay. Or maybe he's just saying Good Luck Albatrosses get the win because that's his prediction. Okay. He's okay. All right. No. He's confirmed it. Okay, so Mike V got that one.
Yeah. Now I'm just super intrigued. So, but
Nope.
Chewbacca, Dexter in the 5 seed. That's gotta be the 5 seed match of the season, right? Like,
Oh
just
yeah.
incredibly
It's gotta
hot
be.
5 seeds. Yeah, I mean,
They're 4-2. They're very close in PR.
yeah.
Shu is Shu. Dexter is Dexter. I mean, that's just saying their name twice.
Saying their name, yeah. Desharmo is Desharmo. Turd is Turd. Dano is Dano.
Tautologies make for really good predictions, guys.
I predict there will be Hearthstone played
This week.
Has
throughout the
anyone
weekend.
ever seen that nature walk video? It's like I can tell it's an aspen by the way it is, or something like that.
Yeah. That's how I do my predictions.
I
Yeah.
can tell by the way it is.
But on more serious topics, it's probably going to be a coin toss. And if I wasn't being such a good luck albatross stan here, I'd probably say Dexter. But it is what it is, guys.
By the way,
So-
Stan, and explain it like I'm 40. I know what that means now, though. Feel it?
Yeah. It means like big fan.
Yep.
Big fan.
Like a fan.
Like-
yeah.
Yeah.
Fanboy. Fanboy. I think would
Fan
be.
to the point of potentially ruining your life and killing your girlfriend.
Right.
So whenever anyone talks about standing Eminem, I'm always like, do you know where the term comes from?
Really positive. Yeah. Really positive.
Yeah.
Everyone should aspire to be a stan of somebody. That's not true. Please don't. Please don't do that. And on that note, let's jump to match 3 of the Red Conference. Here coming up is Toxic Reinforcements versus by Dano. Take it away.
All right, so I have got to pick quite a few bye matches this season, and I think this is the first time I'm going to pick against Noglako. I think Noglako gets punished here for the Warlock bring, and Triss kind of wins this one handily. Agent PWE is really going to wish he could ban both Warrior and Priest, but it doesn't quite work that way. I see Isocles wins, but I don't think he runs away with it. I think Bitbreaker's Mage as a sub gives name MVP Carlton Banks a little bit of trouble, but not enough to overcome the PR differential. Carl Banks wins 3-1. Snake Foz has had a really, really rough season. Drop to the 5 seed will hopefully help, but I'm not sure what's going to help this week. I've said it before that being a 5 seed with like a massive PR like advantage or it's hard. There's like a ton of pressure because your team expects you to win because you're a 5 seed with 200 PR. That they're giving up that PR in the 1 and the 2 for that, and so that pressure there. I think his season's been so rough, or their season. I don't know if it's a man or woman. I think it'd be tough, and so I think Chubbs Peterson's hand gets the win with the PR upset. So my predictions.
Very nice.
Some good spicy predictions. I like them.
And then F. Srirachi had already beaten Pasca 32. So
yeah, really close match there. F. Srirachi having an incredible season. Pasca starting off joined the team later into the season, but 2-1. So getting the first loss there into F. Srirachi. Any other thoughts here by anybody else that isn't Dano? Cool. Awesome. So let's Diamond, did you say you're a Mayanadon stan? Please don't hurt yourself or anybody else on my account, please. But yeah, let's jump into the final match of the Red Conference is Not Yellow Jackets versus Dirty Mike and the Boys.
The boys.
Dirty Mike, the Boys having a rough season. Not Yellow Jackets kind of breaking even, but having some really big wins and some kind of lackluster losses. But starting off strong here with Kid Eternity finding a win over Lefty, which I think is not the way I would have predicted. So thank you for making that easy on me. As for the other seeds, I think Inzi continues winning here in the 1. Lemons as well continues to win in the 2, and then the 3. It's going to be close, but I'm leaning Slay, so that's 4 for Not Yellow Jackets there. And then I'm going to give Tuna his 2nd win of the season. Although that Shaman, I don't know about that.
I was going to say, yeah.
That is a.
I'm having second guesses here. Tuna's been having a rough season, but you know what? I'm going to give him my turd upset of the week. I'm having Tuna win with that Shaman.
Even with the Shaman. So I just looked it up. The 2 Shaman brings this week are in this matchup.
Yeah,
it's Lemons.
also.
Yeah.
Lemons has brought shaman every single week and won every single week with it.
Is that right?
Yep.
What flavor of shaman does the lemon bring?
All flavors, honestly. He's brought like anything and everything shaman. I think he's like a shaman main.
Okay.
I know he's brought at least 2 or 3 different flavors, and I don't want to like give too much away because it's closed deck list. But yeah, like it was.
There's something to be said for pet decks. Like if there's just a deck you get that just jives with your DNA on some form or fashion, like Rogue does not jive with mine.
Yep. Feel that?
Yeah. There's something to be said for a deck that you have 2,000 plays on, even if it's not necessarily the meta, whatever. If it's yours, then do it. Absolutely.
Yeah, man. I mean, I never realized that. That's crazy.
Yep. So, like I said, I got smoked by him week 1, so I've been kind of following and watching.
Ooh.
Makes sense.
That's really interesting. I'm actually, I want to.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna keep track.
I want to see what that was because 5 wins with the shaman brings. Whew. All right. Any other thoughts here on this match before we close up for the night? I know we have a couple more people I think that weren't joining at the top of the show, so I'll open it up again to questions for DollaBilz while I do the announcements. So yeah, no more thoughts on this one.
No,
You guys
think
ready
we good?
to finish things up here? All right. So please write your questions for DollaBilz in the chat if you have any. We did talk about DreamHack Anaheim at the top of the show already, but if you have any more questions maybe you didn't get to ask, please send those now. But yeah, so upcoming events. This weekend we have, for Friday Night Fights, it's going to be Saku and Ted casting, I believe, and we have 2 matches lined up at 8 p.m. Eastern Time for the Legacy Conference Red. We just talked about this match a little bit earlier. It's Triss of Toxic Reinforcements versus No Glocko of Bai. That's going to be a really, really good match. And then the match following that one is at 9 p.m. Legacy Gold Conference. We talked about this one as well. It's Super Murloc of 4th and Inches versus Maddie Ebbs of Wet Woman. That's the highlight match, I think, for me of the week is 4th and Inches versus Wet Woman. So definitely excited to see that on stream. On Saturday, we have Donde, and I'm not sure if we have any additional casters yet, but if you're interested, please message Donde. I'm sure he's always looking for people to help out with the cast. The matches for that will be at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. For the Pro Series, it's is this Dabs of Menagerie versus Markshire of Aeon. I don't know if I've heard of Dabs. I don't know if that's a sub or if that's someone's shorthand that I'm not picking up because I just copied this straight from the content server. And then the second match of Salty Saturday is at 9 p.m. It's Hero. It is Anfall of Stormu versus Beaker of No Pros Here. I do believe they are looking for Schoolstone matches. I don't know that we have any just yet. Actually, oh no, I think we do have Schoolstone matches now. So the Schoolstone matches this week are going to be on Saturday as well. That'll be Saturday afternoon at 3 p.m. So there's actually 2 sets of casts of shows on Saturday. So at 3 p.m., there's going to be a Legacy Gold match of Liquid Ox of Wet Woman versus Itachi at 4th and Inches. That will be cast by Baystink, I believe, and Lotus Knight. Not sure about that, though. I feel like Lotus was looking for someone to help out, so I'm not sure if there's someone else casting that. But
for an op, I think.
For an op, maybe. But anyway, so that's going to be a really good match. It's another one from that match, 4th and Inches versus Wet Woman, Itachi versus Liquid Ox. And then following that will be Rebobson of FTL versus Nerdstrom of Tap Last at 4 p.m. for Pro Series. So catch Schoolstone then. And then finally, finishing things off Sunday night with Quaz and casters to be decided is what is the Sunday show called? Sunday Showdown. That's the one.
Nice.
And that will be at 8 p.m. for Hero Series, Skittles of No Pros Here versus Donde of Nostormu. And at 9 p.m. of Legacy Gold, it's going to be Dragon Rider versus Ron Mexico, 4th and Inches versus Wet Woman. So we have 3 matches this weekend from that series. I think the top 2 and the 4. So those are going to be really, really great matches to watch. I know I'm going to be watching, and you guys, everyone out there should as well. Any last had some? Oh, I've changed into Mayanadon. So for those who didn't watch last season, it was Halloween, and I decided to dress up for the show. So that's a show from the live episode there, or that's a shot from the live episode of me in my costume, my Wilford costume. So yeah, hope you guys enjoy that. But yeah, let's see here. What questions do we have? Do we expect Hearthstone tournaments at DreamHack Dallas? Is a question. If you know anything about that, DollaBilz?
Yes, I believe I actually, and let me just go ahead and right off the top here throw a quick disclaimer that I don't have any particularly special insight. I did get to meet some of the Blizzard Hearthstone esports folks, but there was a lot of just talking about stuff, and it sounds like Blizzard might be interested in getting a little bit more heavily involved in DreamHack again. So it's possible that Dallas might be the first. I don't know how many more times I can couch this language. It's possible that maybe they could potentially.
Yeah, there's a chance that it might.
So you're saying there's a chance?
I'm saying there's a chance.
I'm not saying no.
Pretty good job. I'm just saying. I mean,
but it's they're both Dallas and Atlanta might be. I don't know exactly how everything's going to shake out, but there might actually be some possibility of either gaining points or potentially using it to, step into the Grandmasters or something like that. There's a lot going on over there. It's just quite a bit of internal shuffling, so we'll see how it all shakes out. But very long walk to get to. Yes,
maybe,
and also it could be back under the Blizzard umbrella.
Amazing.
Of like official events.
Yeah. So heard it here first. This is breaking news. No one else has heard this. THL exclusive. You're welcome.
Yeah.
That's great news. That's a great question there from Icicle/Icicles, and there was some debate there in the chat about names. I think Agent PWE/Agent Peewee. I think you was hoping that we would say it that way. So yeah, Agent Peewee. Thank you for watching, and great name there. What other questions do we have, though?
I have a question here. Favorite set of DreamHack? I have a couple of. There were a couple that really stick out. I actually really enjoyed the very first thing we did on stream, which was actually Dragon Rider versus Storm Fever. That set was really fun to watch, and it really kind of set the tone for what the entirety of DreamHack sort of turned out to be, the flavors of the week. And then it really also highlighted how people were thinking about the metagame. Because Dragon Rider brought a Highlander Hunter, a Highlander Mage, and then a Galakron Rogue, and an Embiggen Druid. Whereas Storm Fever brought the Galakron Rogue, Galakron Warrior featuring Risky Skipper, and then Highlander Hunter and a Quest Druid. And those seemed to be very popular decks that a lot of people brought in different configurations. Mm-hmm. And I also feel really bad because that was one of the very few rounds of Swiss that Dragon Rider actually suffered a loss. 3-2, and it's like, well, of course, because you were on stream. And the number of folks who had
there was no Cho in that one, though.
No, that's right.
There was Cho in that one. Yeah, that was
there. Actually,
there was Cho in that one as well.
Yeah, I believe so. I think one of the Faceless Lackeys generated a Cho. That's right, because she got screwed by it. Like,
yeah. Oh, that was.
Yeah, it was brutal. She was in a great spot, and then this Cho pops out, and you're just like,
he's just like, got the backstab, right? It was like,
that was hard.
Yeah, but that was just like a really fun, really solid set. I need to look back through my. Let me show. I don't know if I'm on, but these are my notes from DreamHack. I know it looks like the ramblings of a mad person. It's because they are. Somewhere in the middle of the Swiss, there was a game where it came down to a Quest Druid that had Feoris and a Ysera, and then there was a Highlander Mage, and both decks, the two of them against each other, both decks, 5 or 6 turns in a row, was just it was insane every time. It was like 7 portals off Ysera, and then Reno vanishes the whole thing. and then like Feoris makes a huge thing, and then like Dragon Caster Puzzle Box of Yogg-Saron. And by the end of those 6 turns, I was exhausted and like sweating. I don't know. I mean, how am I supposed to bring meaningful commentary to this spectacle? All I can do is sit back and watch the fireworks that are unfolding. I'm learning with all of you what is possible in this game.
amazing.
You know,
amazing
I know
stuff.
some people complain about it, but Hearthstone is great because of it. Like,
Yeah.
it's just I love the stupid shenanigans that happen in Hearthstone. Like, oh man, I love it. It's just too much fun.
Just albatross draws throughout the tournament. Bad luck albatross kept.
Oh yeah.
Like they would shuffle both albatross to the top of the deck.
Oh yeah,
And
that's
it
the
was
rules.
just so like, I think if you play it closer to the other person's deck, I think it shuffles them to the top. I think kind of
That's
like
why
how
you have to
bombs
play
used to
it
work.
at least a minimum of like you get at least 10 birds into their deck to ensure that
To
they don't
make
draw
sure.
the-
So yeah, that's what you needed to do, Mayanadon. You needed to shuffle more gulls was the answer. There was
That was the answer. Yeah.
1
yeah.
in 17.
I'm sorry. There were 6 in there initially.
You needed 8.
He
minimum.
drew
You
2.
needed at least 8.
I think I had like 4 albatrosses on the board. So if he cleared it, he would have had even more.
Priest is
The
such a
game was
copy.
essentially
It's so
the game was
amazing.
essentially over if he didn't hit it. So he played really well there. But yeah, it was.
Oh. If I'm when I'm playing as Priest right now, I'm just sitting in like our basement. I'm just giggle to myself the entire time.
Yeah.
It is
I-
so much fun.
I also didn't
cannot
mention
stop
that
laughing. It is insanely fun. Like it's like, oh, guess what?
Yeah.
Guess what? Another one. You just
Oh,
can see
man.
the steam coming out of their ears.
Yep.
Scream. I love it.
it can definitely have hilarious moments
My favorite
for sure.
2-turn combo in Hearthstone right now is Bad Luck Albatross on 3, Psycho Pump on 4. Just like, let's have some fun, boys.
You know it's good when the deck tracker that like tracks the other guy's deck just says like
9 plus.
Now we're doing it.
I think we have.
Never knew that was a possibility, and it brings me such joy now.
Yeah, I think we have a couple more questions here to get through before we sign off for
sorry.
tonight. So let's just answer those real quick. We have Desharmo is asking, can DollaBilz explain the origin of his name? Yeah, so go ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. So the Bills part is my actual last name. Bilz is my actual last name. And so with a middle initial D, I had as soon as I hit about 6th grade, when I started learning about nicknames, maybe 3rd grade, by a kindergarten, right? It was like, oh, I have only one option.
Yeah.
There's
It's
only one
basically
thing
your given name by your parents, actually.
Yeah,
I mean,
basically it is. I think they're like, yes, your name is going to be Nicholas D. Bills. Wink. I think that's probably part of the reason we invented screen names in the first place. What's really funny about my last name is how often people they when they see it, they think it's Blitz.
Oh, Blitz, yeah.
Yeah, because there's only one word in English that has 4 or 5-ish letters, begins with a B, ends in a Z, has an L in it somewhere. But Blitz.
Yeah.
So people have that, you know how you can almost read an entire paragraph of mixed up letters as long as the first and last letters are correct. They see Blitz. It's incredible how consistently that happens. Nicholas Blitz.
Nicholas D. Blitz.
DollaBilz.
The D Blitz.
But in the 90s, that had to be cool too. Like, yeah, Blitz. Back then,
Blitz,
or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
Blitz extreme.
We do have one more question here. It is DollaBilz, how did DreamHack feel in quality of the tournament? I know there have been recent changes in staff and Blizzard support. You sort of did speak to this a little bit, but yeah.
Yeah, well, so this particular DreamHack Hearthstone tournament was entirely community. Basically, from what I understand, these weren't talks that I was in, so take that for what it's worth. So second or third hand, but it sounded like Blizzard basically said not no, right? It's like, hey, we want to throw a tournament at DreamHack. DreamHack is a Hearthstone tournament.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that? And Blizzard's like, shrug emoji. So we did it, and but some folks came out and saw and watched, and sort of I was really pleasantly just like surprised and happy that so many people showed up and played against each other, and it was just a really fun atmosphere to play. It's like playing Hearthstone is fun, but like sitting across the person. I'm gonna tangent for just a second. I actually competed in DreamHack Atlanta back in 2018, and something about sitting across the table from somebody when you realize that you just accidentally Electro Storm Surge coin Lightning Storm.
Mhm.
We just did that, which happens to be. For those of you who don't play Electro Storm Surge, you have to coin first. You have to coin Electro Lightning Storm if you need the double Lightning Storm. Electro Coin just gives you 2 coins. That's miserable. It's a miserable feeling. And the guy was sitting across, and he just looks up. We lock eyes from across the table. And he's like,
Yeah.
there's something about it. There's a certain je ne sais quoi of,
Yeah.
being there in the room.
It'd probably be bad manner to laugh about albatrosses.
I think we did talked about this being in the room thing. I think previous week as well. It's definitely there's something different about it.
Yeah,
I love playing in-person Hearthstone. We used to have a great scene here in Minnesota where we just had like Tavern, like every month we'd have 1 or 2 like really solid tournaments, and it was so much fun. I truly do miss it. Like live
I'm going to my
Hearthstone
first
is
one on Monday.
so much fun.
Oh,
you're gonna have so much fun.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
awesome. It's a
remember
blast.
to
Yeah, breathe.
yeah, just breathe and take all 70, especially like the first game. That's all the advice I have.
Yeah.
I went like 3-3 in the Swiss. You know, it's like I'm certainly not but I did not take my time, and I kept doing stupid stuff like that where it's just like, oh, come on.
Yeah.
And you have to paddle them too. You have to kind of like look over the computer screen.
Oh yeah, give him the stare down.
Eyeball them. Just give them like the Pavel stare, you know?
The unflinching. Oh, actually, sorry, real quick. Looks like Diamond's got a question. Who did I think was going to win? Oh my gosh. So there were 3 like big names, right? Muzzy, Just Saying, and Killing All Day were all there at DreamHack Anaheim, and all 3 of them didn't make it past the round of 8,
Mm-hmm.
which was wild. Muzzy didn't lose in the Swiss. You understand? He went 8-0 in the round.
Yeah.
He gate kept so many people because he just never accrued a loss over his
Yeah, right.
Sunday. And then freaking Itachi comes in and kills him.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, like 3-1. Yeah. And so then we're in a semifinals. Fitzy was the one who didn't bring Rogue. He also brought pretty much the only aggressive lineup that I saw, at least that we really saw on stream. Like Mech Paladin, Dragon Hunter, and then an Embiggen Druid, and a really aggressive Galakrond like Temple Berserkers. And none of this. I don't think he even had Leroy. It was too expensive. Like, all this stuff was like 4 mana or less. Yeah, just and so we got to the semifinals, and then Itachi loses, and it's like, wow, I'm not really familiar with the folks that we have anymore. This is gonna be really cool. So who did I think was going to win? I mean, there's the 3 favorites, and then they all got eliminated. It's like this is going to be a fist fight.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Awesome, man. Well, it sounds like it was an amazing experience, and
It was.
I'm definitely jealous. I think you did a great job out there, and so did all the players, obviously. Of course, thank you for coming on. I think that's it for our show. That's I hope everybody liked it today. I do agree. Oh, I did just want to mention Brick's comment there. I think that's a great idea. Get Rank Analytics on in a gangland style, with the voice masker and the sit. I mean, if we can do that, Rank Analytics, if you're watching,
Yeah.
talk to me. We'll do it.
Whoever you are.
Whoever you are.
I asked them last season. I said, "Hey, come on, we'll have you on," but nothing. So yeah, consider this an official gauntlet thrown.
There it is. All right, and that's it for our show. There's the gauntlet has been thrown.
That's it.
And,
Mic drop.
Mic drop there. And thanks everybody for coming on. Thanks everybody for watching. Thank you, Turd, Dano, DollaBilz, and come catch us next week. I won't be here, but Desharmer will be back, and I'm sure we'll have another excellent guest for you. So stay tuned for some more content coming at you.
And sweet guitar rip.
Sweet guitar riffs from Desharmer. As promised.
As promised.